Hi everyone, this is Mr. Castro speaking, and I'm recording this video for my English 11 students at San Cedar High. So in this video, I'm going to explain how to complete the problem section of the problem solution essay. So let's start with this information about problem solution text structure. In a problem solution essay, an author introduces a problem and then describes how the problem is solved. So just like what the structure is called, problem solution text structure, that's basically the order of things in this essay: problem and then solution. Some selections also include smaller problems that must be solved along the way. However, a problem and solution essay typically focuses on one major problem. So before I explain the different parts of this example problem solution essay, take a moment to pause this video and read the essay. Once you're finished reading, click on play and listen to my explanation of each part of the essay. So in this example essay, it's about obesity and poor fitness, and you'll notice that different parts of the essay are highlighted different colors. So the last sentence of paragraph 1 is highlighted in yellow, and that's the thesis statement. The thesis statement is the main idea or main argument that the author is making. So the author's main idea or main argument here is that obesity and poor fitness are a major health issue, and therefore it's important for individuals and governments to work together to solve this problem. The paragraph that's highlighted in orange describes the problem. The paragraph that's highlighted in green proposes some solutions, including increasing vehicle taxes. The part of the last paragraph that's highlighted in blue is the counter-argument. A counter-argument is basically a possible objection to the original argument. So part of the original argument or the original solution that the author makes is that vehicle taxes need to be increased. So a possible argument against that is that increasing taxes is a negative way to solve the problem. Now, this is not really the best counter-argument, but it is a counter-argument. A better counter-argument might be that increasing vehicle taxes might adversely affect the poor or the middle class. And lastly, we have the rebuttal, the restatement of the thesis, and an explanation for why the solution is still a good one. So if you look at how the first sentence of paragraph 4 continues in the second part, it is no different from the high taxes imposed on cigarettes to reduce cigarette consumption. So that's the rebuttal. The rebuttal is basically when the author argues back against the counter-argument. And then the author restates the thesis: individuals and governments can work together to tackle this problem and improve diet and fitness. And the author wraps up by explaining why their solution is a good idea and why it needs to happen. So last week we learned about the Central American migration crisis. We analyzed 2 articles about the issue, and in those 2 assignments you identified evidence about the causes and effects of Central American migration. You also elaborated for each piece of evidence. So this is your writing prompt for the problem solution essay that you will be writing. The Central American migration crisis is a current human rights issue. In the problem solution essay, propose a solution to a San Diego congressional district representative. Imagine that your essay will be published in the San Diego Union Tribune, so your audience will include San Diegan adults concerned about this issue. However, your primary audience will be a congressional district representative, because ultimately that is who you are trying to persuade. So at this point in the assignment, you have no idea who your audience is. You have no idea which congressional district representative you will be trying to persuade. But that's okay. Once you find out, then that's when we'll be working on the paragraphs for the solution, the counter argument, and rebuttal. But for today, we're simply focusing on the problem section of your essay. So here's a quick overview of the problem solution essay. It's going to consist of 4 paragraphs. The first 2 paragraphs, you'll be providing evidence from the 2 sources that we analyzed last week. And you'll wrap up the introduction by adding your thesis statement at the end of paragraph 2. Paragraph 3, you will propose a specific solution. Once again, we're not working on paragraph 3 yet. Today, we're simply focusing on the first 2 paragraphs. And then lastly, for paragraph 4, you will acknowledge a possible counterargument, provide a rebuttal, and explain why your solution is still a good one. So let's look at paragraph 1. Right here, we have an outline on the left-hand side. And in this paragraph, you'll be focusing on describing the problem by citing evidence from source number 1. Now, if you look at that outline, it looks like a lot of work. However, if you've already completed migration assignment number 1 from last week, then this should be pretty easy because most of it, you're just copying and pasting from the assignment that you have already completed. So let me go ahead and enter edit mode. And as an example, I will show you how to complete paragraph 1. So what we want to do is look at the outline on the left-hand side, and we will follow it sentence by sentence. In the first sentence, you want to introduce the problem by stating why so many people are leaving Central America. If you look at the example problem solution essay, the author starts the essay by stating the problem or introducing the problem to the audience. So you're basically doing the same thing, except your essay is about the Central American migration crisis. So I will right-click on that sentence from that outline. I'll copy it right here on the right-hand side. For my rough draft of paragraph number 1, I am going to right-click, and I'm going to select Paste without formatting. Because if you select paste, you'll notice that the format or the font of the sentence is exactly the same as you copied it. But we want the font to be the same as what we already have in this box. So I'm going to right-click and select paste without formatting. For now, I'm not sure how to start my essay, so I'm going to skip sentence 1. And I'll just come back to that later. So once I'm finished with the rest of paragraph 1, then I'll add this first sentence. For sentence 2, we have a sentence frame, so I'll copy and paste that from the outline. Once again, I want to right-click and select Paste without formatting. And in sentence 2, I want to introduce the website, the article title, and the author. And then I will insert evidence number 1 from slide number 8 of migration assignment number 1. So let's go back to migration assignment number 1. So on migration assignment number 1, if we go to slide number 3, that's where the article starts. And on this slide, we have the article title, we have the author's name, Daniel Gonzalez, and we have the website name, USA Today. So let me copy and paste the article title. And now that I've copied the article title, I'm now back on my rough draft. So the name of the website is USA Today. The title, I will copy and paste that in here. So right-click, paste without formatting. There's my article title. I'm going to italicize USA Today because it's a title of a major source. And then Lastly, I need to add the author's name, Daniel Gonzalez. Lastly, I need to insert evidence number 1 for migration assignment number 1. So let's go back to migration assignment number 1. And if you turn to the very last slide, you should have this slide completed in your assignment. You should have your 2 pieces of evidence. You should have 2 elaboration sentences for each evidence. But since I don't have anything, I'm going to just copy and paste this just for the sake of example. So in your essay, make sure you're not copying from this example chart. I am only copying and pasting it here just as an example so I can show you guys how to transfer your evidence and elaboration into your rough draft. So for evidence number 1, I'm going to copy that. I'll return to my rough draft and I will paste that right here. So now I have my first piece of evidence here in my essay. In the USA Today article, the 2019 migrant surge is unlike any we've seen before. Daniel Gonzalez reports, and then start quote. Next, if we look at the outline, we want to insert elaboration number 1 and then insert elaboration number 2. So those will be our next 2 sentences. So if we go back to the assignment, migration assignment number 1, I'm going to copy and paste my 2 elaboration sentences for my first piece of evidence. So after copying that, I will return to my rough draft, right-click, paste without formatting, and now I have my 2 elaboration sentences for that first piece of evidence. And then I'm almost finished with this first paragraph. Once again, it looks like a lot of work just by looking at the outline, but because we're mostly just copying and pasting, it's not really that much work. So for sentence number 5, I want to copy and paste that sentence frame because I am now introducing my second piece of evidence. So going back to migration assignment number 1, I need to copy and paste my next piece of evidence. And I also need to add the author's last name. So furthermore, Gonzalez reports, and then I have evidence number 2. Lastly, I wrap up my paragraph by copying and pasting my 2 elaboration sentences for this second piece of evidence. Okay. And if your paragraph extends past the bottom of the slide, which it should, then that's okay. This is just a rough draft. Later on, once you're finished with all 4 paragraphs, you'll be copying and pasting these paragraphs into a Google Doc for your final draft. Also, before you move on to slide number 2 or paragraph number 2, you want to make sure you have this first sentence completed. And then once you're finished with paragraph 1, you'll complete paragraph 2 by following the same process, except you're getting evidence and elaboration from migration assignment number 2. So you're looking at the second article that we analyzed last week. So just to get you started on that, let me go ahead and open up that assignment. And I'll show you how to complete the first sentence for the second paragraph. So for migration assignment number 2, you'll notice that we have 3 authors. So you need to cite all 3 of their names. The title is Central American Immigrants in the United States. So going back to the rough draft, I want to copy and paste that sentence frame. And the article is titled Central American Immigrants in the United States. The website is not right here on this slide, but if we turn to slide number 5, we see migrationpolicy.org, a link to the organization here on the bottom right. So migrationpolicy.org would be the organization. So going back to the rough draft, in the migrationpolicy.org article, we need the author's names, we need all 3 of their names. So Allison O'Connor, Jeannie Batalova, and Jessica Bolter. And then same thing that we did for paragraph 1, we're going to get the first piece of evidence and then the first 2 quotes or the first 2 elaboration sentences, and then follow that up with the second piece of evidence and the 2 elaboration sentences for that piece of evidence. But just for the sake of example, because I don't have anything on here, let's pretend that this is my evidence. Once again, make sure you're not copying and pasting from the example chart. This is just to show you how to transfer things onto your rough draft as an example. So pretending that this is my first piece of evidence, I'm going to copy that. And then I will insert that right here to this sentence frame. And then I'll just simply follow the rest of the outline, and then I'll be finished with paragraph number 2. One thing I need to point out is that for sentence number 7, you need to point out a specific congressional representative to implement your solution. However, at this point in the essay, you have no idea who your audience is. You have no idea which congressional representative you're trying to persuade. So for now, do not complete sentence number 7. We'll work on that next week. So this week, you want to focus on completing paragraph 1 and the first 6 sentences of paragraph 2. Next week, when we continue working on the essay, you will finish up paragraph 2 once you know who your audience is. And then we will wrap up by finishing paragraphs 3 and 4. Okay, so I hope this video helped. If you have any questions at all about your essay, please make sure to ask me during class on Google Meet. You're also welcome to email me or send me a message through Remind 101 anytime. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.